For as long as I can remember growing up, we were told if we got a degree, if we got that higher education, we were going to be able to find the jobs that we desperately needed. And what's what's happened is vast majority of people went out and got degrees, they got higher education, and now the jobs are not there, and folks are struggling to find work. Those that have been laid off or unemployed. And that's the article we're going to be getting into here, is discussing, hey, this isn't just something that feels like it's happening where those individuals with the higher degrees are having difficulties. The data is supporting it. So we're going to check that out. Again, for those that don't know, I'm a business coach that works out of West Michigan, and around the country. I come live pretty much every day here. So hopefully I earn your subscription today. And let's get into it here. Business. So this is from Business Insider. Links are going to be in the description, so be sure to go check that out. We're not going to cover the whole article, so that's why I always make sure that I link the article here so we can get into it. Okay, so unemployment by degrees. New data shows that more education you have, the longer you will be out of work, and this is by Aki Ito. As of today, just came out. For Ron Slider, getting a master's degree seemed like a path to job security. After spending nearly 2 decades in the military and including 8 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, he attended graduate school with the help of the GI Bill and landed a job in IT administration. Real quick, I was in the military for 20 years, retired. During my time there, I got my master's degree because they told me I needed it. And yeah, it's very parallel to when I saw this. It was interesting. But he landed a job in IT administration. He looked forward to climbing the corporate ladder, enjoying a long, successful career in the civilian world. Then in January 2023, he got laid off. Since then, he's applied to thousands of roles to no avail. After more than 2 years, he's still unemployed. The whole experience, he says, feels like being caught in the middle of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's disheartening, and they sell you on a dream. You fight for the dream. I did my, okay, and then come back to take advantage of the dream that you thought for, and you realize it doesn't exist. When I was in the military, and I took night classes to get my bachelor's degree, night classes and distance learning to get my master's degree. My kids saw me on the kitchen table well into the night while, they're getting ready for bed. I'm still doing schoolwork. And when I got into the civilian world, it was a challenge. I'm not going to lie, to change that mind shift, so you're setting that mindset. That's what I want to say, to what the realities are in the civilian world. It's completely different than what you deal with in the military and government service as a whole. I love, right now, Donald Trump and Doge, they're doing their thing. But this idea that you do everything right and you can still be fired, it's so odd. So, again, from what we're used to in the military. So let's keep going here. Slater is part of a sudden spike in the number of highly educated professionals who are struggling to find a job, any job. I did a video on the number of fake job postings that are out there. It's like 30% of job postings are fake. They're not real. And that's so disheartening for people who are trying to find work. According to government data analyzed by the economist Aaron Terrazas, professionals with advanced degrees who are looking for work find themselves stranded on the employment line for a median of 18 weeks. 18 weeks. 4.5 months. That is, that's a long time. Now, a jobless spell that has more than quadrupled over the past 2 years. And we're going to look at this. Look at this here. So, this data here, we're going to look at educated, unemployed job seekers with advanced degrees are suddenly out of work longer. Median weeks unemployed. So, high school or less, they're at about 7 weeks. Bachelor's degrees at 11 weeks. And way up here, postgraduate. So, those folks with masters and above, they are sitting at 18 weeks. That is just crazy. Now, this is a trailing. By the way, this chart that made me sure to put this on here. So it's a 3-month moving average. So this has been smoothed out a little bit, but still, that's a hell of a long time to be out of work. Let me just say. Now, it's not news. We're in the midst of a sharp downturn in tech and finance, one that has hit highly credentialed professionals especially hard. It's been the white collar recession, 100%. That has been happening. And assuming it's temporary and it's normal to experience dips in the job market, there have been plenty of times over the years when PhD holders faced longer job searches than high school graduates. That's true. But whatever the ups and downs, education, particularly an advanced degree, has generally provided a good buffer against financial insecurity. 100% on that. However, And this is why I want to bring this article up, because I think this is a very good insight by Aki Ito on this. I've started to wonder if what we're seeing in the job market is a sign of something deeper. What if Slitter's protracted spell of joblessness is an early warning signal, indication of the economy is undergoing a fundamental shift? What if going forward, education no longer provides a path to economic security the way it once did? For 40 years, we've been talking about how more education leads to better market outcomes. Suddenly, it feels like it's changing. And this is what I want to get to. This is really important, folks. This part right here. And this is what I've been talking with my clients about. What the early 2000s were for manufacturing workers, I worry that the mid 2020s are going to be for knowledge workers. Terraza says the American manufacturing workers were told they were highly productive until global trade opened up, and then that suddenly that changed. I worry we're in a comparable moment for knowledge workers. They were told they were being the most productive workers in the world, and suddenly that's being undermined. We're gonna get back to the article in a second. So let's unwrap that, because that's a lot there, and it's really important what these two individuals are talking about. So when NAFTA was originally signed in the mid to late 90s, I think it was like 95, if I remember correctly, 95, 96, it took multiple years for the shift in manufacturing to occur, but it happened. When it happened, though, it was a slow raise, and then all the manufacturing jobs left, right? You want to do it the other way. It was a slow drown, and then all the manufacturing jobs in America just dropped off as they moved elsewhere. And what we're seeing now is that with the increase and globalization of the internet, where the internet now is you're able to do more and more on Zoom calls and be able to outsource more and more of your work to, again, third parties in other countries where the standard of living is lower. More and more of this work is making its way there, and these companies, corporations, they don't need to have as many people in the United States to do their work. They can outsource it. They can offshore to another area, and it was only a matter of time until this happened. And now that it's happening, I fear that there are a lot of individuals who are not collectively, just like we have with manufacturing. There's people who are not prepared to be able to work their way through this, and that's what we're seeing. All these individuals with these degrees struggling. It's definitely, again, it's heartbreaking. And let's get back into it here. Now, where do I want to get here? There's something we already talked about here. But then over the past few years, the demand for super educated professionals suddenly took a deep dive. A variety of factors have combined to alter the white collar landscape. The first was a pandemic driven shift to remote work. Okay, so we already saw where remote work could happen, but it wasn't being adopted. Then there was COVID, which then forced people to adopt remote work. And now that businesses are no longer limited by the constraints of geography, American companies realized they could hire abroad, giving them access to a larger and cheaper pool of highly trained professionals. Suddenly, homegrown computer scientists, product managers, and data scientists, long treated as rare diamonds worth of their high salaries, seem more like overpriced commodities compared with their counterparts overseas. Another factor has been a big push among corporate recruiters to de-emphasize formal credentials in the hiring process, a trend known as skill-based hiring. Some employers no longer list degree requirements in job postings. Others have added the qualifier or equivalent experience. That's giving people without extra schooling a chance of landing jobs, again, those most coveted ones, and while undercutting the advantage long employed by advanced degree holders. And then, well, I'm going to leave it there with the article because they get into AI and how that's going to continue to chip away at white-collar jobs. But what I'm using this information for when I talk to my clients is that there is a pool of talent out there that can't get hired right now. The skill set is there. The desire to work, the skill set, and the knowledge base is there. They just have to find a way to attract them to those jobs. Now the folks that are applying, they're applying to the jobs that they think they want. And we have a mismatch in the economy right now. There's job mismatch as far as between what the skill sets that are available and the jobs that we need done. And right now, the degree holders here, they're not aligning appropriately, either through dollars or anything else. The clients that I work with, we're readjusting all of our job descriptions on this part and reimagining jobs to have them better fit with the talent pool that's out there. Again, yes, we outsource some stuff. We do. Everyone does. Try not to, but in a competitive market, you have to be able to do that. But for a lot of the higher skill jobs, we've sat down and it's a best practice. We have just completely reinvented many of the jobs that we have and their positions in the actual economy. And what we're doing by reimagining those jobs is we are looking at the candidate pool that's out there when we get these resumes in and highlighting and identifying those individuals who have the requisite skills that we have. And we're doing skills-based hiring. But in order to do skills-based hiring, you have to look at your job description and ask the question, is the job description as identified? Is it enticing those individuals who have the skill set to come apply to us, or are they avoiding it because they don't understand the job? So we're working really hard, and with all my clients, we're doing that. We're finding some success. We really are, where we have individuals who are, we're bringing people in that normally wouldn't be doing the work that we have. Again, I have manufacturing and trucking. Landscaping is another one where we've found individuals who have requisite skill set in certain areas that now we've redone our jobs to where they're getting pulled in. So that's really what I'm working with my clients on right now. Like I said, as always, I use these articles that I send to my clients as a way to re-emphasize the importance of the work we're doing, and also to help them look out to say, hey, here's a pool. Here's how we can attract this pool of candidates to get them in here. Okay, it's really important that if you're an employee, right, if you're a worker, I would highly recommend take a look at jobs outside of what your degree is in. You know, you have requisite skill sets that can cross over, and it's incumbent on you to be able to talk to those skills and show how they apply. But I'm a logistics and supply chain guy. That's what I did for a long time. I was in procurement, and then overall shipping, receiving, warehousing, all that stuff, all aspects of logistics and supply chain management. I haven't done a logistics and supply chain job until, since I've been out of the military. What I did is I found work that was ancillary, that I could, it had a good correlation to it, that I could then get hired into that. So just my recommendation, folks. As always, again, links in the description. Be sure to go check out the video. Again, if you would like to learn more about how I help businesses grow faster than you ever thought possible, you can go to summitbusinessguides.com. Links in the description. Take care, and I will see you next.